Hello everyone, thank you once again for checking out my channel Imperii Auto. This is a channel all about all things automotive, news, reviews, classics, all sorts of stuff. Sorry I've been a little slow to post, crazy busy with normal life stuff, and we actually took a little road trip up in the mountains. So it was a nice break to get away, and I wanted to try and get this review out before I left, but you know, life happens. So anyway, it's great to be back home and finally get a chance to work on this review. If you like what I'm doing, throw me a like and a subscribe. It would greatly help me out, and I would really appreciate it. So today we're going to be talking about the 2022 Range Rover. I'm going to break this down just like I've done all these editorial style reviews. I'll have a general overview at first, and then we'll get more into specific details in the press release, like the interior, powertrain options, and then at the end I'll kind of give my overall personal thoughts on the 2022 Range Rover. And I'll break this up into chapters like I've done the last few videos. So if you want to skip around and go to a specific part, by all means be my guest. So let's get right into it. Here is the kind of general overview in bullet point form directly from Land Rover. It says the new Range Rover leads by example with breathtaking modernity, peerless refinement, and renowned Land Rover capability, informed by over 50 years of evolution. The new 2022 Range Rover is defined by presence and formality, achieved by a harmony of proportions, surface and lines, and I'll talk a little bit more about what I think about the looks here later on. Luxurious alternatives to traditional leather include a new premium textile that combines ultra fabrics and Vadrat, did I say that right? Wool blend, KVADRAT, and it's got a little trademark symbol. Kind of following the Tesla lead, I guess, where non-leather leather is the thing to have. And personally, I still like cloth seats, so what do I know? The new Range Rover SV is an exquisite interpretation of Range Rover luxury and personalization, handcrafted by special vehicle operations. Engineers have reduced the cognitive load on the driver at every point, while next-generation noise canceling with headrest speakers create the ultimate refinement. Integrated chassis control and Dynamic Response Pro provide supreme ride comfort using electronic air suspension that primes the vehicle for corners using e-Horizon data to read the road ahead and provide appropriate responses. Standard all-wheel steering combines superior high-speed stability with exceptional maneuverability at low speeds and the smallest turning circle of any Land Rover SUV. Hey, didn't Honda and Nissan do that back in the 90s? Even the 80s. I think Honda did it in the 80s. Interesting that's making a comeback. Several other cars are doing that as well. But it makes sense on a big SUV, I guess. New MLA Flex body architecture provides standard and long wheelbase body styles with luxurious 4, 5, or 7-seat interiors. So they're still doing the long wheelbase. Here's the big one. Battery electric Range Rover set to premiere in 2024 as Land Rover embraces a new reimagined strategy with all-electric powertrain for its original luxury SUV. I can make a lot of reliability jokes here, but I'll save that till the end. They have a new 434 horsepower plug-in hybrid arriving in 2023, and it delivers an electric range up to 62 miles. And there's an all-new 523 horsepower twin-turbo V8, delivering the trademark Range Rover drive and dynamic launch, enabling 0 to 60 in as little as 4.4 seconds. Ooh, that's fast for a big slab of lead. Built-in Amazon Alexa, and every time I say that, mine goes off, by the way. This seems to be a big trend right now. Built-in Amazon Alexa helps minimize distractions by recognizing intuitive verbal commands for music, navigation, and traffic updates, smart home devices, and more. So there you go. Alexa can spy on you some more in your car now. Sirius XM with 360L debuts in the 2022 Range Rover and transforms ride with extensive and personalized radio experience. I'm not real familiar with that. And in closing of the bullet points here, the new Range Rover is available to order now, priced from $104,000 in the US, with deliveries beginning in spring of 22. So here's a little bit more about the 2022 Range Rover lineup. This will have kind of engine layouts, model numbers, and MSRPs. So the first two on the list here, now it said these don't come out till 2023, but you have the Range Rover P400 SC, which has the mild hybrid 3-liter turbocharged inline 6 with 395 horsepower and 406 foot-pounds of torque. It says the MSRP is about $104,000. You also have the P400 SE. That's a long wheelbase 7-seat version. Same powertrain. It's about $6,000 more. Then your entry into the big boy twin turbo V8s, and these will be the 2022 models, I'm guessing. Is the 530 SE. It starts at about 118,000. Then you have the 7-seat long wheelbase version. Again, that's about 6,000 more. The Autobiography 530, which is 152,000. Guessing it adds a bunch of fancy stuff. You have the long wheelbase version of that. Again, another 6,000 more. Then you also have the Autobiography long wheelbase without the 7 seats, which is 2,000 more than the 7-seat. Maybe there's some fancy stuff in the back. I'm not sure what that's all about. You have a P530 First Edition, which is 58,200, and the First Edition long wheelbase, topping it off at $163,500 US. With a suite of efficient mild hybrid and plug-in hybrid powertrains available in 2023, and a pure electric Range Rover set to join the lineup in 2024, plus a choice of 4, 5, or 7-seat interiors available across standard and long wheelbase body designs, the new Range Rover is at home in any environment. It says the new luxury SUV is available in SC and Autobiography models, as I mentioned before. The First Edition will be available throughout the first year of production, based on the Autobiography and featuring a unique specification. It is exclusively available in the Sunset Gold Satin finish, which I'll put up on the screen, among a choice of 5 exterior colors. Both standard, short wheelbase, and long wheelbase body designs are available with 5 seats, while the new Range Rover long wheelbase model is available with a third row for extended comfort for up to 7 adults. And the SV configurations will be basically identical, maybe with not some of the special paint and whatnot. Let's talk a little bit about the new design. I'll start here by a quote, only the British. This is by Professor Gary McGovern, the Chief Creative Officer of Jaguar Land Rover. The new Range Rover is a vehicle with a peerless character. From the impeccable restraint of its exterior to the flawless, tranquil sanctuary of its cabin, informed by creative intellect and a desire for perfection. It doesn't follow fashion or trend, but by a modernist design philosophy, combined with over 50 years of evolution, it is quite simply the most desirable Range Rover ever created. I will say, it's very pretty. The new Range Rover is defined by 3 lines that can trace their origins back through the generations. The falling roofline, strong waistline, and rising sill line. These trademark features combined with characteristically short front overhang and a distinctive new boat tail rear, complete with practical split tailgate to create an elegant profile that conveys peerless presence of the Range Rover. I will argue that the origins of the short overhang were for approach and departure angle, not beauty design for Rodeo Drive, but I digress. The exterior color palette elevates the elegant proportions and clean surfaces of the new Range Rover, while the interior options are more sustainable, responsible, and progressive than ever. Customers have a wider choice of materials and finishes, including innovative textiles and tactile ultrafabrics, with the continuation of Land Rover's brand pioneering relationship with Vadrat, and I hope I'm saying that right. It's Kvadrat, Europe's leading manufacturer of premium textiles. And we'll get more into the details of the updates of the interior coming up next. All right, the interior. The new Range Rover makes every journey on occasion to be remembered, combining advanced technology with modern luxury to deliver peerless refinement for every occupant, including those in the new optional third row of seats. By eliminating unwanted noises, vibrations, and distractions, and reducing the cognitive load on the driver and passengers, occupants will arrive at their destination feeling refreshed. I've ridden in quite a few Range Rovers throughout the generations, and they are very refined inside. They're very comfortable. I see why people love them so much. And it looks like they're continuing that tradition with some upgrades and refinement and making it a nicer place to be. This is kind of interesting. Advanced speaker technology builds on the fundamental refinement provided by the MLA Flex body architecture to deliver serene cabin calmness. Ensuring passengers enjoy a first-class experience, it uses a 1600-watt Meridian signature sound system, not available on SE, standard on Autobiography and First Edition models, to create one of the quietest vehicle interiors on the road, with additional 20-watt speakers in the 4 main headrests for the most immersive sound experience. Included with the Meridian signature sound system, the 3rd-generation active noise cancellation system monitors wheel vibrations, tire noise, and engine sounds transmitted into the cabin and generates a canceling signal. So it works like your noise canceling Bose headphones that you use on an airplane. It's pretty cool, actually, which is played through the system's 35 speakers. So I'm guessing it knows generally what the frequency response range of those noise parameters are, and it cancels the signal with like a EQ type setting. Oh, and that's basically what it is. These include a pair of 60mm diameter speakers in the headrest, as I mentioned before, for each of the 4 main cabin occupants, which create personal quiet zones similar to the effect when using high-end headphones. The Range Rover was the first luxury SUV to feature electronic air suspension in 1992. The new Range Rover continues this pioneering approach with Dynamic Response Pro and preemptive suspension that uses eHorizon navigation data to read the road ahead and prime the suspension to provide appropriate responses. Very clever stuff going on here. The new Range Rover is also the first Land Rover vehicle to feature optional power-assisted doors, available on the 2023 model, with integrated hazard detection and anti-pinch features, which enhance its soft door close capability to ensure every trip begins and ends with effortless refinement and sophistication. You barely have to touch the door to close it. It says including at angles up to 10 degrees while off-road. Advanced hazard detection means the doors can automatically pause until the sweep of the door is cleared. Great in theory. Curious how that actually works off-road when you are trying to clear an obstacle. Practical 2-piece split tailgate that has been a Range Rover hallmark since 1970 is updated for 2022 with a series of new technologies providing greater versatility and convenience. All right, a little bit about that fancy tailgate. The new optional versatile load space floor protects luggage and enhances convenience. Its clever floor panel can be raised forward across the width of the load area around the midpoint, forming a partition to contain smaller items and keep them within easy reach when unloading. It also can pivot backwards along the leading edge and serve as a backrest when using the lower tailgate as outdoor seating. Oh, that's kind of cool. The new optional tailgate event suite takes the versatile load space floor backrest concept to new heights, combining additional lighting, audio features, and tailored leather cushions to create the perfect vantage point for outdoor relaxation. So it's a super fancy tailgate station. And closing some of the tech stuff in the interior, says they have the latest electronic vehicle architecture, EVA 2.0, on Land Rover vehicles. It includes software over-the-air updates for more than 70 electronic modules. You're going to need it. Meaning the new Range Rover will constantly evolve, improve, and remain up to date as it matures and or fix software glitches. One more thing I noticed here before we move on. For the first time in a Land Rover vehicle, the central display will provide haptic feedback when customers touch and press the screen. Now that's pretty cool. That is something that's missing with a lot of these touchscreens, and especially when you're distracted trying to look at your screen while you're driving, and you need to, since everything's put in these screens now, and you need to, I don't know, turn down the air conditioning or whatnot, you have some sort of responsive haptic feedback instead of just touching glass. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about the chassis and the off-road capabilities. This is the stuff I'm interested in. The flagship of the new Range Rover family represents the pinnacle of refined capability thanks to advanced hardware and software systems working in complete harmony, enabled by the new MLA Flex body architecture. The unrivaled breadth of dynamic capability is governed by the brand's integrated chassis control, a single control system for a suite of advanced technologies that tailor the vehicle dynamics to suit every mile of every journey to preemptively and reactively fine-tune the driving characteristics. They're working really hard to make a big SUV drive like a car. Every new Range Rover features all-wheel steering for an effortless drive with heightened stability at speed and improved maneuverability at low speeds, ensuring it is equally at home on the open road and negotiating tight urban streets. Again, I mentioned before, I think that's a great idea for these big SUVs. The electronically operated rear axle provides up to 7 degrees of steering angle and at low speeds turns out of phase of the front wheels, giving the new Range Rover a turning circle of 36 feet, the smallest of any Land Rover vehicle. At high speeds, the rear axle turns in phase with the front wheels for enhanced stability and comfort, much like the Super Hikus system worked on the old Z32 300ZXs. The new Range Rover is also the first Land Rover vehicle to feature Dynamic Response Pro, the powerful new active 48-volt electronic roll control system is faster acting and more efficient than a hydraulic setup, with a torque capacity of over 1,000 foot-pounds fed into a rollover protection system to keep body movements under control. Fully independent air suspension isolates the cabin from surface imperfections more efficiently than ever for serene composure. It combines air spring volumes with twin valve dampers, all managed by an in-house developed adaptive dynamic control software. The intelligent all-wheel drive IAWD transmission is controlled by the Land Rover brand's intelligent driveline dynamic system, which monitors grip levels and driver inputs 100 times a second to predictively distribute torque between the front and rear axles and across the rear axle for optimum traction on and off-road. Every Range Rover also features an active locking rear differential, as it should. This optimizes traction from the rear axle during cornering, on slippery surfaces, and during off-road wheel articulation, delivering enhanced capability and driver confidence. And in closing, all this technology feeds into Land Rover's brand award-winning Terrain Response 2 system, which harnesses the various chassis systems to automatically provide the perfect settings for the surrounding, from a choice of 6 driving modes to minimize driver workload across various terrains. Alternatively, the driver can select the most appropriate setting manually or use configurable terrain response to create a bespoke chassis setup. Let's talk a little bit more about these hybrid setups. The new Range Rover maintains its compelling combination of effortless performance and peerless refinement with a comprehensive lineup of advanced 6 and 8-cylinder powertrains. Spearheading the Land Rover's brand's reimagined strategy, a pure electric model will join the family in 2024, bringing full-time zero tailpipe emissions driving to the Range Rover for the first time. And once again available in 2023, they're going to have the plug-in hybrid. It has a 38.2 kilowatt lithium-ion battery and 105 kilowatt electronic motor integrated with the transmission. Together, the powertrain provides up to 62 miles of near-silent pure electric driving. It says here the PHEV can reach up to 87 miles per hour without the use of a gasoline engine, allowing customers to enjoy pure electric driving for most journeys in town and country. The clever packaging of the battery beneath the vehicle and within the wheelbase ensures both luggage space and all-terrain capability are uncompromised. I was stubborn for many years about hybrids. I think the technology is catching up. I don't necessarily hate this. I think that's a pretty cool feature, especially considering most of these are going to be putted around town. And in closing here, they talk about personalization. The new Range Rover SV will provide an exquisite interpretation of Range Rover luxury and personalization, giving customers even more scope to create a truly individual vehicle with a choice of exclusive design themes, details, and material choices from SV. This is probably a topic for another video, but I think especially with the chip shortage, and I don't know how many of you folks have been to a car dealership lately. Dealerships I'm used to seeing 100 new cars on the lot have 7. I think the Tesla model is going to become more and more a standard where you basically order your vehicle online as you want it, and it's delivered to the dealership and you pick it up. But again, that's a topic for another day, but Range Rover seems to be focusing on that kind of Mercedes designo package type customization. And in closing here from the press release, before I give you my own thoughts, a new quality benchmark. The new Range Rover has been designed, developed, and engineered in the UK, and during this process, Land Rover has filled no fewer than 125 patents, covering everything from its pioneering chassis technologies to its PHEV battery. Land Rover engineers use motorsport-derived simulation technology to put the vehicle through its paces in the virtual world more comprehensively and extensively than ever, completing more than 140,000 hours of analysis prior to physical testing. A fleet of prototypes then embarked on the punishing global test and development program, taking in extreme temperatures ranging from the 100-degree Fahrenheit plus heat in the desert to the minus 20-degree Fahrenheit cold of the Arctic. The new Range Rover will be produced exclusively at the Solihull manufacturing facility in the UK, using a state-of-the-art production line housed in the building used to produce early series Land Rover vehicles. That's pretty cool. This historic building is a spiritual home to the Land Rover and is reimagining as a new ultra-modern center of Range Rover production, showcases the way the company protects its heritage. I think that's very cool, actually. The new Range Rover is available to order now. Okay, let's get into my thoughts here. I love Range Rovers. I think they are stunning. I think they are beautiful. I love the history of them. Now, to be fair, a lot of the off-road history goes to the Defender, but that carried over into the Range Rover through the generations. And hey, I love the old discos. The body-on-frame discos, like that last generation, they were freaking awesome. So, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Reliability. That's a lot of tech and electronics on a vehicle and a company not known for reliability in those issues. But you know what? I had planned this whole joke fest about Land Rover / Range Rover bad reliability, but I'm not. I'm not going to go there. Because I know the people that buy these. I know the people that'll go spend $160,000 on a Range Rover. They don't care. They absolutely don't care, because do you think they're going to own these out of warranty? They're not. They're not. I don't think this competes with the Land Cruiser anymore. It just doesn't. This is a very trendy accessory for wealthier people, and they're going to crawl malls. And they throw a lot of the capability on, because that's the heritage and it has to be there. But 99.9% of that stuff will never be used, and that's okay. The all-electric coming in 2024 will be interesting to see how many they actually sell. I'm sure they'll sell a ton in Los Angeles and London and whatnot. To give credit where credit's due, they do have some history with this, with the Jaguar series of fully electric, which has been pretty successful for Jag, and they share tech and platform. I mean, basically the same company. So, yeah, I think this 2022 Range Rover absolutely hit their customer base. I think they will sell a gazillion of them. I think it's a very, very pretty, understated design, which is exactly what their clientele are looking for. So anyway, that's kind of my overview. I think it's a cool vehicle. I'm excited to see them on the road. Although I have to admit, sometimes it's hard to tell the generations, because they all kind of look the same a little bit. But this one stands out more. And actually, it looks more like the Velour, which I've thought from the beginning is a gorgeous vehicle. And you would think when you see it on the road that that's the top end Range Rover, or Land Rover, I should say, but it's not. So it looks like the Range Rover is a little bit more looking like the Velour. But anyway, everyone, thanks so much for checking out the channel. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to be back in the swing and back in town, and hope to be banging out a lot more videos soon. So again, if you like what I'm doing and you enjoyed this, throw me a like and subscribe. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful week and have a great rest of your day.